Hi, this is James Gardner, the CineTechGeek, and I'm at Samsung with Chris. Now, Chris is in charge of the SSD technology at Samsung, and I spotted something today, and it's one of these. Now, this is an SSD drive. Now, I wanted to bring this to the attention of the exhibitors and the production community in general, because one of the biggest problems with production and exhibition is moving data around.
Absolutely.
Right? Now, this is a 2 terabyte unit. As you can see, they're only getting smaller. So, Chris, please tell us, when did this product come to market, and what sort of price range are we looking at?
Yeah, so what this is a USB 3.1. It's got a Type-C connector. It is a full SSD solution. It's external, obviously.
It's an SSD, yep.
It's an SSD. This was launched at CES this year in Las Vegas. And the great thing about this is it goes up to 2 terabytes in capacity. So very, very small, just a few ounces, but still has that same SSD level performance. So when you're moving content around, when you're managing your workflows, you're able to use a very light, very small device that has very high performance to be able to manage all the content that you're moving from location to location.
And that's very important, because the smaller it is, the more likely it's going to get through with less trouble, less cost to wherever you're posting it to. And that's a big issue with sending, if you're in cinema exhibition, the COU data port drives, etc., they're really good and reliable.
Yep.
But they're reasonably big still, and this is only like a fraction of the size. So your costs would go down significantly for moving data around. And even in just, like, we talk about the cloud all the time, they like to talk about the cloud. But my big problem with the cloud is in most parts of the world, uplinks are extremely expensive.
Right.
Nothing beats a good SSD.
The old sneaker net.
That's right. And putting it in the post or in the sneaker net.
Yeah.
So
the great thing about this is relatively cheap.
Yes.
So a little bit more expensive than an internal SSD, but not that much more expensive. So in terms of US dollars, it works out to be a little bit more than 40 cents a gigabyte. So if you get a 2 terabyte drive for US dollars, you can get that between 800 to 850 US dollars for a product like that.
Excuse me. I cut that bit out. Now, the last question, what was it? He's graded me. Okay. So, what's the speed that these drives can do?
So these will do about 450 megabytes per second, which is actually maxing out what the USB 3.1 interface will allow you to do. That's still about 4 times faster than the performance you'd get from an external hard drive. So still very much faster than a normal external storage solution, and a lot faster even than an internal.
People just don't see it, do they? We'll start that bit again. So Chris,
hey John, can you prevent people from walking in front of the camera? Yeah. Just beat them up if they start.
Stand there.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
All right, try it.
So Chris, you've got the USB 3 interface on this.
Yep.
What sort of speeds can we get off these SSDs?
Sure, it's about 450 megabytes per second.
Wow.
So still, it's going to be about 4 times faster than what you're able to get on an external hard drive,
wow,
and a lot faster than you can get on even an external flash drive. So flash drive, you can typically get about 125 megabytes per second. This will be a lot faster than that. So it's not exactly internal level performance, but it's certainly much, much better than anything else you can get from an external perspective. And again, in a very simple, easy to use, external package.
Solid state, reliable and transforming.
The case is ruggedized. It's water resistant. I mean, it's everything that you want in terms of protecting data as it's going through the post, or it's if it's transferring it or handing it off to somebody that you really don't know where it's going to wind up and what it's going to be used for, and make sure that data is going to be protected along the way.
Well, thank you very much, Chris.
Thank you, James.
There you go. That's Samsung delivering some really great news for us who need to move data around, be it cinema exhibition or post-production. So yes, and it's a very important time, because these high bandwidth has never become more important, because HDR, due to the HDR requirement and specification, really pushing us into 4K.
Yep.
4K pushing us into a larger file format. So HDR really requires raw type workflows, lots and lots more data. Moving that data around is hard, and this is the sort of solutions we need. Thank you very much, Chris.
Thank you, James.
See you later. Thanks a lot. This is James Gardner at the Samsung booth at NAB 2016. Bye.
Okay. All right, edit that out in post.
Yeah.